What a pleasant good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex for the final day of the 5th edition of the Houston Women's Open 2026. This is the last match in the group stages. This match today featuring the Blazers and the MSCA Hurricanes. Blazers out of California, MSCA Hurricanes based here in the Houston area. Blazers winning the toss, and Captain Ananya Kulkarni choosing to have a bat under relatively pleasant conditions. Weather has been a talking point all week or all weekend long, but I will tell you that number one, the rain has basically stayed away, and then number two, today we're actually starting in sunshine. So we're looking for a wonderful day's worth of cricket ahead of us. Blazers again winning the toss and choosing to have a bat, just to let you know what the sort of state of play is the rest of the day. This is the last match, as I mentioned, in the group stages. And then later on this afternoon, 1 p.m. local time, will be the finals. The finals will be played between the number 1 and number 2 teams on the standings, or in the standings. The third place game will be played between the number 3 and number 4 teams, and then the fifth place game between the number 5 and number 6 teams. As we sit here today, as of right now, the two teams that are at the bottom of the standings are the two that you're seeing on your screen right now. It is the MSCA Hurricanes, 1 win, 3 losses. The Blazers have not yet won a match, but they'll be looking to change that at least to be able to go out with some pride, and of course still a lot to play for. They do have an outside chance of being able to get into that third place match. So pride as well as that opportunity still exists for them. In the meantime, it will be the opening pair of Arya Priyanshi and Sri Batgare who will take first strike. Right here for the Blazers, looking to make sure that they get off to a decent start here. Relatively moist conditions, a little bit of dew around. Always have dew in this part of the state. And see how they handle it. Going first up here. First delivery played into the offside. Start with a dot. This is going to be Kushi Kadam, who's taking the new ball coming in from the highway and the southern end of the ground here in Prairie View. Kushi Kadam starting here with a dot, making sure that she gets that ball in the right areas. Don't want to be too loose. Obviously just 2 fielders allowed outside of the 25-yard circle here in the power play overs. As of right now, just 1 outside there, deep square leg. Pay attention to that. That's going to be a little bit too wide for the liking of umpire Cameron Best. Cameron Best, the umpire who is in your screen or in your shot right now, that is Cameron Best, out of originally Barbados and then lived here in the Houston area for a number of years. And at the risk of being too repetitive, when I personally played here in Houston, he was my captain. A wonderful human being as well as a great cricketer, and now an absolutely brilliant umpire. Struck through the offside. That's a good looking shot. Proper cricket shot. Keeps it on the ground. And a good sliding effort. Did she touch the rope? I believe she may just have touched the rope. Umpire Cameron Best is now signaling that is going to be in fact a 4. So, good effort in the deep. Not quite able to pull that ball back, and in fact she did pull it back, but in the process of pulling that ball back, her foot touched that rope, so that makes it obviously effectively the ball having gone over the rope. So the first boundary of the day. Proper cricket shot too. Arya Priyanshi struck that one beautifully and getting it all the way along the ropes, or along the ground rather, all the way over to that deep cover area for the first boundary. A good looking cricket shot. Maybe just a touch too full for Kushi Kadam that time. That's a better length, and then the line, even though it was a little bit too far outside the line of off stump, not punished by umpire Cameron Best. So I would think that she would want to have that ball on the 4th stump line, just outside the line of off stump. You have a slip fielder in position. That's top left of your screen. And a little bit of outswing. Don't know that the ball will swing for very long with the wet conditions that we have, but if there's any swing, it will be away from the right-hander. That's why that slip feeler is there. Very full, and she allows it to go through to the keeper. So a couple of dots after that initial 4. And looking to see how you can close this over out now. Maybe one loose delivery in addition to the wide. Everything else has been relatively positive in terms of deliveries that are not being able to score off of. So let's see if she can close this over out effectively here. Kushikaram. Full toss, played into the offside, no run. Don't know that you want to bowl too many of those full tosses, but this time it does not hurt her. So just one ball remaining here now in the first over of, again, the last match of the group stages. Maybe I should say the last round of matches in the group stages. Squeezes it off the outside edge down to deep third. That is a single that closes things out over number 1 is done and dusted. 6 without loss after 1. Six without loss after 1. Tia Chowdhury, a young lady from right here in the Houston area, who is a really promising all-rounder, pace bowler, middle order batter. Taking up the attack from the northern end of the ground. Sprays the first one down the leg side, so she'll have to re-bowl that. Tia Chowdhury, personally one of my favorites. I hate to say that because I absolutely adore all these young ladies, but I've known Tia Chowdhury herself for essentially the length of time that she's been on the planet. And in terms of her bowling, she is the 3rd leading bowler in the side. Actually, I'll give you a better response to just a minute. She is in fact the 8th leading bowler in the side. 1 for 31 are her figures, wickets versus runs. So she's not necessarily there to take wickets, but she's there to keep the run rate around a run a ball. Bowling during the power play, that's not easy. And so her economy rate is 6.2. Always want to keep the opposition limited to as few runs as possible during the power play overs. And so you like the fact that her economy rate is 6.2. Played into the offside, no run. What I started saying about 3rd, she is the 3rd leading fielder on the side with 2 catches in 3 matches. Which, of course, as an infielder slash outfielder, anytime you can take catches and help your team propel toward victory, that's always a good thing. And as of right now, you're not necessarily asking her to do anything in the field. You're wanting for her to get the ball in the right areas like that. That is perfect. Just short of driving length. Played back down the ground, back to the bowler herself, no run. So after that initial wide, she's cleaned up a little bit with a couple of dots and looking to see whether or not she can continue pushing her team toward, let's just call it, applying the pressure to the Blazers. Appeal, very long appeal. From my perspective, that looked like an inside edge onto the pad. And so I would imagine that that's why umpire McVin Frederick keeps his hand at his side. Take a look at this again. A little bit of in swing, and then, yeah, big inside edge onto the front pad. So good decision there from umpire McVeigh. Plus, had that not been an inside edge, the impact may just have been outside the line of off stump. So not a lot going for that appeal. Solid in defense, but that's a string of dots that is really effectively putting pressure on the Blazers. First over, had one loose delivery that went for 4, but just a single and a wide. And then in this over so far, just a wide. So just one ball remaining. And for the most part, the MSCA Hurricanes are doing what they want in terms of restricting the runs. Run rate right now under 4, 3.82 to be specific. And as I say that, another one goes down the leg side. So that is the third wide of the morning. Second one in this over. And when the MSCA bowlers get the lines right, then they can be difficult to score off of. Not counting that 1-4 through the covers in the first over. But Arya Priyanshi and Sri Bhatkar will know that they need to look for opportunities to score runs. Last ball played into the offside. They'll get a single here, just in that sort of backward point area. Good strong throw coming from the outfield, but not strong enough to prevent a single. So Arya Priyanshi will keep strike. Amazingly, you've gotten through the entirety of 2 overs, and every single delivery has been faced by Arya Priyanshi, and then she will start, having taken a single off that last ball, will remain on strike. So almost at the halfway stage of the power play, and Sri Bhatkar has not yet faced a single delivery. End of over number 2, 9 without loss. Back to Kushi Kadam for the third over. Reload that one. So Kushi Kadam, a good bowler in her own right, opening the bowling. And she is relatively, or has been relatively expensive. She'll want to have a lower economy rate than the 10 that she has conceded so far. Short. Oh, cut away, and I'll tell you what, that was so close to the stumps. That easily could have gone onto the stumps. Attempted cut shot by Arya Priyanshi, and that ball inside edge off of the inside edge of the bat. Look at this, how close this comes to the stumps, reaching well outside the line of off stump. The ball was wide enough to have played that shot, but maybe not quite the bounce that she was looking for. Getting that inside edge, she may consider herself lucky there that that did not go onto the stumps. And now for the first time, it is going to be Sri Bhatkar to take first strike, or at least to take strike in this match. So you have a single to start over number 3. And now for the first time in this match, you will have a batter other than Arya Priyanshi taking strike. Priyanshi taking strike. Ooh, that's very close. Umpire Cameron Best thinking maybe this one is slanting down. The bowler is bowling around the wicket to the left-hander. So with that angle, there's always the chance that that ball is slipping down the leg side. Don't know if we have a replay on that, but I think, okay, here, look at this replay. Let's see what umpire Cam Best sees here. Yeah, certainly swinging down. That's a very good decision. Once again, that angle from around the wicket, slanting it in toward the pads of the batter, that will almost always be going down the leg side. Good looking shot, this one. Played into the offside, no run. Kushi Kadam has improved certainly on her economy rate. Came in with an economy rate of 10, but so far 2 overs, at least halfway through her second over, only conceding 7 runs so far. So that will help that statistic tremendously. Let's see how well she closes out the over here. This is actually a low full toss. Sweeper on the offside cleans up, so not a lot of danger there, but you'll want that ball to be pitching. Kamaksha Senthil it is in the sweeper in the deep who cleans up. And from your position now, with 2 balls remaining here in over number 3, 11 runs on the board, scoring rate 4.13. You're looking to see how you can accelerate. 4.13 I don't think is going to be nearly enough. Very full outside the line of off stump. She'll have to reload that one. Number of wides. 4 wides in all so far. So anytime you have 12 runs and a third of them are wides, that tells you that the bowling unit has something to clean up. For the most part, the batters have not been able to score when the ball is in the right areas. But if you bowl it wide, obviously, you are putting your team in peril, and you'll want to clean that up. Outside the line of off stump. Once again, that ball not quite bouncing to the extent that Arya Priyanshi would have expected it to. She's on 7 from 14. Sri Bhatkari 1 from 3. And just 1 ball now remaining here in over number 3. So later on this afternoon, as I mentioned, will be the finals right here on this ground, PV number 1. If you're anywhere in Prairie View area or the Houston area, please feel free to come out and support these young ladies as they get to the point where they put their best foot forward and show who is going to be the champion in the 5th edition of the Women's Houston Open 2026. Something to pay attention to. Won't be any one of these teams in that game. These 2 teams, as I mentioned, are at the bottom of the standings, so I think the best thing for them to play for is to see whether or not they can get into that 3 versus 4 match later this afternoon. Good last delivery of the over. A couple of wides, but then she closes out well. Just 4 runs coming from the over. From those 4 runs, 2 were wides, 2 off the bat. End of over number 3, 13 without loss. Three without loss. Tia Chowdhury to bowl her second over. 4th of the innings. Partnership at the top of the order now worth 13. And these 2 batters just trying to get comfortable. It is going to be the left-handed Sri Bhatkari, who has not faced very much. Only faced 3 deliveries, 1 single off of those 3 deliveries. Now Tia Chowdhury back into the attack. Right arm over the wicket to the left-hander, which is what you want to see. And that line, for me, sometimes it's almost instinctive that a right-handed fast bowler thinks, okay, I'm bowling to a lefty, I need to go around the wicket. From my perspective, both as an analyst and as a former left-handed batter, it is much more difficult to negotiate the ball that is slanted across you. And so from that standpoint, I almost always prefer to see this angle going across the left-handed batter. Good looking shot played into the offside for no run. And more to the point, if you are a young player looking to sort of understand when to go around the wicket versus over the wicket, that around the wicket creates that angle going across the left-handed batter, which brings slips into play, brings the keeper into play. Don't have any slips now. But if you're bowling in swing as a right-handed fast bowler, you are more likely to get an LBW from over the wicket than from around the wicket. If you're around the wicket bowling in swing, chances are if it's hitting the stumps, then the impact would have been outside the line of off stump. And if the impact is in line, the swing is probably taking it down the leg side. So just from the standpoint of being able to have favorable decisions in LBW shouts, as an in-swing bowler to a left-hander, you're more likely to get that decision bowling over the wicket. And then again, it's just more uncomfortable for the left-handed batter, like there, if that angle is across the left-hander. So words of wisdom, hopefully, for someone who is looking to sort of craft their game and decide what they can take away from what you see on the TV screen. Now, sometimes it is to the advantage to go around the wicket. Let's say if you have a left-handed batter who prefers to play on the offside, you can go around the wicket to force that batter to play on the leg side. And that's something else that we can see. That's a wave and a miss. First wide of the over, third wide overall for Tia Chowdhury. Still 2 balls remaining there, as McVin Frederick indicates to his partner. So these are the little intricacies about the game that I think make it interesting. It's a bit of a chess match. You're going back and forth. You're sort of determining what works and what doesn't work. And one major element of that decision-making process as a bowler is deciding which side of the wicket to bowl from. Once again, you've seen that angle going across the left-hander has been a good one here for Tia Chowdhury. Nothing off the bat yet in this over. That tells you that she is getting the ball in the right areas, save for the one wide. And to me, it just makes a little bit more sense to have that angle. Last ball, and these 2 batters just had a chat in the middle. Not sure what that chat would have been about. But with the success that the bowlers have had so far, I think they'll be proud of the start that they've had at the ball. Played into the offside. Excellent over. The only run from that over was that wide. Really good stuff from Tia Chowdhury and the MSCA Hurricanes. End of over number 4, 14 without loss. Change in bowling. It is going to be Kamakshi Senthil. She immediately fires one down the leg side to create another wide and then to create 2 additional runs since the batters had the opportunity to cross. Kamakshi Senthil, despite the fact that she's just started out with a wide, is statistically the best bowler on the team and by some distance. 4 matches played, and in 4 matches she has taken 12 wickets. 12 wickets in 4 matches is absolutely brilliant. Best bowling figures of 5 for 15. She has a maiden, 53 dots, easily the highest number of dots of the bowlers on the side. And for those who are not aware, dot ball is a ball that is not scored off of. And in this form of cricket, a dot ball is like gold. Starts out here though with a couple of wides, so she'll want to fix that. Economy rate less than 5, 4.71. A strike rate of 7. Strike rate meaning the number of runs that you concede for every wicket that you take. So to be able to only concede 7 runs between wickets is just tremendous. And then she has had hat trick. So statistically, not just the best bowler in the team, but she's actually also the best bowler in the entire tournament. Just brilliant, brilliant stuff. Finally finds the right line and length here. She does have the only hat trick in the tournament. Of course, hat tricks don't come across or don't come around very often. And the fact that she's able to have done that tells you a little bit about her bowling prowess. So starts with a few wides, but apparently has sorted out the difficulty. One legal delivery bowled in this over so far. 3 runs conceded, but again, very, very solid bowler. Oh, goes back, plays a cross-batted shot. That's always very difficult to negotiate that type of shot with the ball rushing onto you. And let's just see what this replay looks like. Sri Batkar might consider herself lucky here. Don't know that we'll have the opportunity to look at that replay, but to me that might have just been slipping down the leg side. And yes, I know I talked a whole lot about left arm over or facing a left-handed batter, how it makes sense to go over the wicket. Well, it's the opposite if you have an off spinner, because an off spinner, as Kamakshi Senthil is looking to drift the ball in from around the wicket, have it pitch and straighten. In other words, threaten the outside edge of the bat. That, to me, is a much more effective delivery from around the wicket. So, over the wicket for a right-handed pace bowler to a lefty, around the wicket for a right-handed off-spinner to a lefty. That's what makes most sense. So, a couple of dots after, make that 3 dots after that, the wides that started this over. And let's see exactly what happens from here. But my goodness, this is really a good over underway. Save for the wides. Tossed up, defended, no run. So we just have 1 ball remaining here in what is so far a good over. Nothing off the bat yet. And again, you can't expect a whole lot off the bat when Kamakshi Senthil is bowling, because she is a brilliant, brilliant bowler. In the air, this is going to be just over the head of mid-off. Running back and a couple of runs. You would think, yep, they do get a couple. In the air for a long time. Thought that T. Chowdhury might have had a chance to have taken a really difficult catch, but it was just out of her reach. So first runs off of the bat from Kamakshi Senthil, or off of the bat from Kamakshi Senthil. 2 runs closed out over number 5. End of 5. Scores 19 without loss. Team without loss. Relatively sedate start here for the Blazers. A power play, the first 6 overs of the innings. You expect somewhere around 30 or so runs. As of right now, 19 without loss with the last over of the power play coming up would indicate probably something around a total score, at least based on the current projections, of 76. Batting first, I would think that you'd want to target somewhere at least around 100 runs. And we'll see how they're able to do as it relates to an acceleration. You have 10 wickets in hand. This opening pair has now been at the wicket, and between them faced exactly an equal number of balls, 15 each. Arya Branch is 7 from 15. It's now going to be a new bowler, Javi Patak, to bowl the last over of the power play. So 2 opening bowlers were pace bowlers, and now you've gone to 2 spinners. And the 2 spinners, each of whom is bowling the last 2 overs of the power play, gives you a little bit of a sense of how good their spinners are. Left arm orthodox, so looking to turn the ball away from the right-handed Arya Priyanshi and into the left-handed Sri Bhatkari. And with that single, you might start thinking now, okay, I have 20 runs on the board. I'm scoring at the rate of 3.75 and over. 3.75 and over isn't necessarily going to intimidate most batting sides of repute. And I think it's fair to say that the Hurricanes are likely a better batting unit as compared to the numbers that they've put up in this tournament than the Blazers. And I hope that doesn't sound like I'm being negative toward the Blazers, but just on balance, it would make more sense to try to attack them and put them in a position where they have to chase, because it makes it more difficult, as this is off the outside edge toward that backward point area. They'll get a single. So the point I was making is that you have an opportunity here, having chosen to bat first, to accelerate. And you'll want to accelerate because of the fact that the second innings will find conditions more suitable for batting. There will be less dew. The ball won't be defaced as easily. The ball will go more quickly across the ground, a little bit drier. So all of that augurs well for the batting unit. And if you put yourself in a position of putting up a below par score, then it makes it difficult to defend it. So I would have to think that you'd be looking for something around 100 to 110, which would be the target. Now, 6 and over from here gets you to 107. 107 would be more in line with what I'm talking about. That's over the top of the fielder in the covers. Tia Chowdhury back on the boundary, who does the cleanup work. Good strong throw, couple of runs. So maybe just a few more runs coming here. Just one boundary struck. It was in off of the second ball of the over, of the innings rather. And the highest number of runs in any one over so far was 6. That was that very first over. This over, 4 runs having been scored from it with 1 to come, is looking to be a promising one for the Blazers. Tried to go big, but not making any contact. So started with a bit of a flourish, but ends in relatively sedate fashion. 23 runs is what they get from the power play. End of 6, 23 without loss. Three without loss. Arya Priyanshi 10 from 20. Sri Bhatkari 4 from 16. Strike rate of 25 and 50 respectively. So each of them will want to improve on those two numbers. You want to get that strike rate much closer to 100. As I said, 100, which would be a run a ball. A run a ball from here gets you to 107. And 107, I would think, is what you'd want to be targeting from here. Leading batter for the Blazers should be Agrawal. 58 runs aggregate for the tournament so far. High score of 53, so she'll be very happy with that 53 and will want to have put something on the board in those other innings. The opportunity to do that will come when she bats later on this afternoon. I would imagine, later on today I should say. I would imagine that she would be in next. We'll see what that looks like if there is a fall of the next wicket. Danya Mikelineni, left arm leg spin. Oh, when I say left arm leg spin, I mean left arm wrist spin. Not very many of those around, and she's a good young prospect. Absolutely brilliant. From here, she'd be turning the ball away. The stock ball that she bowls turns away from Sri Bhatkari. It's going to be a little bit too wide though, so she'll need to bring that ball closer to the line of off stump. So Danya Mikelineni out of Peachtree City, Georgia. Wrist spinner, left arm, once again, don't have very many of those around, so they can be very difficult to face just because of the fact that you've not seen very many. That's a really good delivery. That is the stock delivery that she'd want to bowl every single time to the left-hander. Very full, drawing her forward, and then getting just a bit of turn to beat the outside edge. And with that delivery, I would want to see a slip fielder in position, because that ball is one that will kiss the outside edge every once in a while. So watch to see how she comes back here. But that, again, is the type of delivery that you want from your left-handed wrist spinner. Floated up there, very full, and then easily finding the length that draws the batter forward, and any amount of turn is away from the batter. And so that, to me, gives an opportunity for a catch behind the wicket. So that's why I'd really want to see a slip to the left of the keeper, to the right as you look at the screen. I'd want to see a slip fielder there, because there is an opportunity to get a wicket. Once again, waving and missing outside the line of off stump. 2 balls remaining, and I hate to keep belaboring the point, but you have a team down. They've had trouble scoring. It really just makes sense to have them to apply pressure and then put that slip fielder in position. Sribat Gurry not quite ready on that occasion. So overall scoring rate 3.6. 3.6 from here projects to a score of 72. Exactly 80 balls remaining in the innings. Gotten out of the power play. Skied. This is a catching opportunity, and it is put down. Oh my goodness. It was in the air for a very long time. Deepanjali Pakala settling under it, but really never judging it appropriately. It's good delivery in the air, and just not quite judging it the way that she would have wanted to Deepanjali Pakala. And so that is a life given to Sribat Gurry. It's now going to be Arya Priyanshi back on strike. 1 ball remaining here. Should have had a wicket there, Danny Mikulineni. Short, pulled away in the deep, landing short of the fielder at square leg. So a couple of opportunities in that over to have gotten a wicket, I would think. But she ends up only conceding 3 runs from her first over. Danny Mikulineni, excellent over. End of over number 7, 26 without loss. Bit of a delay before we get started for the 8th over. The bowling unit is absolutely on top. They've restricted the Blazers, having chosen to bat first, by the way. Blazers winning the toss and choosing to bat. They've restricted them to just 27 runs in 7 overs, just going at the rate of 3.71 and over. And it's going to be Jaivi Patak to continue. Left arm orthodox, so 2 different types of left arm bowlers here. Left arm orthodox from Jaivi Patak, and then Daniel Mikulineni, who you saw bowl in the last over, is a left arm leg spinner, in other words, a wrist spinner. So one turns the ball into the right-hander, the other turns the ball away from the right-hander. Jaivi Patak, with her orthodox spin, will be spinning it away from the right-handed Arya Priyanshi. 11 from 22. Make that 11 from 23. So both of these batters are having trouble getting the ball off the square. Should be Agrawal. Hang on just a second, because our scorecard, for some reason, is saying that Shubi Agrawal is at the wicket, and that's absolutely not right. Look at this replay again, by the way. Played into the offside and a quick single. Throw coming into the keeper's end. Oh, I'll tell you what. That is a good piece of work, diving to regain her spot behind the line, because that easily could have been run out. So it appears keeper with a brilliant collection. By the way, it does appear that it is Shubhi Agrawal who is at the wicket, so they appear to have retired one of the bowlers, and my goodness, that struck right back to the bowler. She takes it herself, the return catch, and it was in fact Shubhi Agrawal who is at the wicket. She came in after, I believe, Sri Batkar was retired, and she ends up serving the ball right back to Jaivi Patak. Struck firmly but directly to the left of the bowler. That is her strong side, and she collects that without much fuss. Shubhi Agrawal, the leading batter in the side, she'll be disappointed for that reason, having been the batter who came in with 58 runs to her credit. Does not add to that number here. Dismissed for without scoring, without troubling the scorers. So that is going to be disappointing for her. But it does mean that the Blazers are now going to have to start over with a new unit, a new pair. So just to recover, and let's just talk about what just happened. It appeared as though they've retired Sri Batkare, and having retired her, promoting Shubhi Agrawal, or bringing her to the wicket, she just lost her wicket, and it is now going to be a new batter coming to the crease. It's going to be let's see, get exactly who this is shortly, but in my mind, while Arya Priyanshi is at the non-strikers end, 12 from 24, Rishika Santosh Kumar is going to be the new batter. And so with Rishika Santosh Kumar now having to start over, 1 wicket down, effectively 2 wickets down, I would imagine that they have retired Sri Batkare. I believe she's been retired out, and so she would not be eligible to come back. And a couple of moving parts, but I think ultimately it still results in the Blazers being a little bit likely disappointed with where they find themselves here. 1 ball remaining in over number 8. Just 27 runs on the board. 27 runs on the board, and this now partnership having to start over. Play down the ground here. And they'll get 1. 1 is all they'll get. And you'll get into the 9th over. Still struggling to get the ball off the square. It is, after 8 overs, 27 for 1. Make that 28 for 1. Eight overs bowled. We've had 4 overs of pace, 4 overs of spin. We continue with spin, as it's going to be Danya Mikaleneni to bowl her 2nd over. First over that she bowled, she was threatening. Only conceded 3 runs, and I think on certainly 1 occasion could have had a catch taken had that catch not been dropped in the covers. And then the second occasion, landing short of the fielder in the deep. Now bowling to a right-hander. So 2 righties at the crease. And I would think that the idea now would be to get the ball in the right areas, but you don't need a slip fielder. That to me is a little bit straight, and it's worked down to the leg side for a couple. A little bit straight in the sense that you're turning the ball into the right-handers. So if you start on the stumps, then if it's starting on the stumps, it turns down the leg side. You'll want, given the turn that you're generating, for the ball to start outside the line of off stump. You're much more threatening in that way. Now, similar to what I talked about when it was a right-handed pace bowler to a left-handed batter, from this angle, LBW comes into play. Left arm, well, that's going to be very close. Maybe the bounce takes it over the top. That is a really good delivery. So I didn't get the chance to fully develop that point. But from over the wicket, turning the ball into the right-handers, you get that ball to pitch on, which what that one did, meaning pitch in line with the stumps. And then from that angle, it would have hit the stumps, maybe if the stumps had been a couple of inches higher. But that's a really good delivery. Again, a good delivery. Struck over the top of mid-on. And they'll get a single just over the top there. I thought just for a split second mid-on might have been in with a chance. I believe that is Kamikshi Senthil at mid-on. But not quite tall enough. Had she been maybe a couple of inches taller, she'd been somewhere the height of Deepanjali Pokala, for example. That may have been a catching opportunity. Good looking shot. Cut away into the deep. Sweeper out there now. So you do have some protection. You're out of the power play, so you can be a little bit more sort of defensive with your field settings. Don't know that you need to go full defensive, because you still want to be able to build pressure. And the way that you build pressure is by bowling dot balls and getting those bowlers, getting the ball in the right areas. As of right now, scoring rate 3.69 will not intimidate most good batting sides. Just 32 runs on the board, 2 balls remaining here in over number 8. Make that over number 9. That's played into the offside. We'll get 1. And so Arya Priyanshi opened the batting, 13 from 25. She's still there, obviously. Rishika Santosh Kumar, 5 from 6. It may be on Arya Priyanshi, who's been there from the beginning, to start looking for ways to accelerate the scoring rate, which is now 3.74. That's good enough for a test match. In a T20, not quite as much. Played away into the deep. It will be a single to deep extra cover. She will keep the strike. 6 runs coming from the over. End of over number 9, 34 for 1. So 34 for 1 after 9. Last over before you get to the halfway stage of the innings. And it is again going to be Javi Patak bowling from the northern end of the ground. Arya Priyanshi, 14 from now 27. Does she now start looking to find a way to accelerate? 9 wickets, well, 8 wickets in hand. That's short, and it's pulled away into the deep. Protection is out there, but she's not exactly square enough, and that races away for the second boundary. That is going to be an important element the rest of the way, because the only one who struck a couple of boundaries now is Arya Priyanshi. 14, make that 18 from 28. This is a lot shorter than Javi Patak would want. Very much a drag down. She wants that ball to be much fuller. Wants to induce the batters playing down the ground. 18 from 28. That feels a little bit more like you're needing to start accelerating the way that you need to. That is similar length, so she gets away with it here, but she'll want that ball to be a lot fuller. Javi Patak gets the single down to that backward square leg area, but on balance, you put yourself in a decent position, but to the extent that you want to start accelerating, you're going to need to start taking advantage of any run scoring opportunities. Floated up there, played through the offside. That's a single. Rishika Santosh Kumar, 6 from 7. So her strike rate is actually better than Arya Priyansh's, 19 from 29. 19 from 29 equates to a strike rate of 66. Rishika Santosh Kumar, strike rate of 85, 6 from 7. So you need more of that. Scoring at a quicker rate from here. Run a ball takes you to 102. Short, pulled around the corner. That is going to be well fielded at backward square. And it is not going to be an opportunity for a run. So with one ball remaining here in over number 10, almost at the halfway stage, don't know whether or not they'll take a water break, but I would imagine that there will have to be at least, if not an official break, at least a message sent to these two batters that they want to start getting things underway. Only 61 balls remaining in the innings, 8 wickets in hand, 40 runs on the board tells me that you have the opportunity to start accelerating. Floated up there, played into the offside. That will just be a single that closes things out in over number 10. Halfway through the innings, 41 for 1. "41 for 1 is the score after 10. Danya Mikulineni is back in the attack for her third over. 2 over is bowled, 2 for 9, make that none for 9. And I am joined once again by the person who makes all of this go. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, wonderfully. I will tell you that I am more than impressed with the way that things have gone just for the entirety of this tournament. So you have a lot to be proud of.
Thanks a lot, Brian. That really, gives us a little satisfaction when people with your kind of experience who has been around the circuit for ages, that doesn't mean that I'm saying anything to you, but it means that you have done this job in so many places and you have watched so many tournaments. Thank you for all the appreciation. And as I said always, that it takes a village to get this kind of tournament going. So really very happy with the support from everyone, especially the Cricket Prairie View Complex. Cannot thank them enough for such wonderful grounds in this country, getting the availability. I know this weekend in May, can be a little busy for some others, but we managed to get all these games going. The 2026 Women's Houston Open, my 5th edition here, is almost closing in, nearing to the end. This is our 5th game for each of the teams, and really proud the way it's gone. Thanks, Brian.
Well, you talk about the way that it's gone. For those who are watching online, talk about what the rest of the day looks like, whether on camera here, field number 1, or on the other grounds. Oh my goodness, that's a wicket. Danya Mikelineni has been very consistent throughout the entirety of her spell, and she gets her first wicket here. Knocks back the off stump of Rishika Santosh Kumar. That is the end of her day with the bat, and the score now is 44 for 2. Look at this delivery. Oh, the turn.
Beautiful, beautiful, and that's the expectation from Danya, who is the only player in this country who is a left-arm Chinaman in the United States. And she has a long way to go. I'm not saying she's already there, but definitely every day I see her, she gets better and better. Kudos to you, Danya, for getting that wicket. And we've lost Rishika from the Blazers. Score is 44 for 2, 10.4.
So certainly the only left-arm orthodox or left-arm wrist spinner in the country. I personally don't like using that other word because it sounds a little bit less than politically correct, put it that way. But left-arm wrist spinner, they're very hard to come by. You've had some good ones over the years internationally. Don't have very many of them in this country. I can't think, frankly, of another one on the men's side. And then, as you highlighted, about the only one on the women's side that you could hope to find. So Arya Priyanshi has been there from the start, 22 from 33, strike rate of 67. And she's now going to be joined by a new partner, and they're going to be tasked with acceleration. I think it's going to be very difficult to accelerate with Maya Kumar, who's just now getting started, hasn't obviously faced a ball yet, but more to the point, if you're looking to where you're going to get your runs from, Maya Kumar has only scored 9 runs in the tournament so far. Arya Priyanshi, including this innings, is up to 45 runs on the tournament. So they do have some making up to do. And it's going to be hard to do it against Danya Mikelineni. Played away into the offside here. A dot ball to close things out. In fact, to get her day started with the bat, but not really able to do a lot. You put yourself in a decent position, but for the most part, you need to start thinking about how you'll accelerate. 1 ball remaining here over number 11, and that scoring rate just hovering around 4, and I think you'll need more than that. Difficult to get Danya Mikelineni away. Just 3 runs coming from the over. The first 3 balls up the over were 3 singles, but then she took a wicket and then 2 dots after that. So excellent bowling from the young wrist spinner, left arm, and that is the end of over number 11. The score is 44 for 2. .44 for 2 after 11. You can do that quick math and see that the scoring rate is exactly 4 and over. 4 and over projects to a score of 80. I don't think 80 will be enough. New ball into the attack. It's going to be Sahana Sampath Kumar. Another leg break bowler. Sahana Sampath Kumar from Frisco, Texas, outside of the Dallas area, so about 260 or so miles away from where we are here. Okay, so for those of you who live in the Dallas area, get offended if I say Frisco is outside Dallas. That includes our producer Hassan, who is now in my ear, in my ear, telling me that Frisco is not outside of Dallas. Okay, for those who do not live in the Dallas area, Frisco might as well be part of Dallas. But anyway, so as far as this game is concerned, and I'll ask your opinion here, Mitali. Sahana Kumar, leg spinner, Give me your idea or your opinion on her as a bowler.
Uh, I'm going to be very honest with you, Sahana. I saw her in one of the youth tournaments many years back. Her mother is also very active, Aishwarya, very active in the Dallas area. As you said, Frisco area, Dallas area.
Yeah.
So Sahana has a brother, and they would play together in the youth. And now she's finally getting into the women's circuit, and it's very good to see her. Good upcoming prospect here. The more she plays, she's going to get better and better. There is no doubts about it. But I think this is her first Women's Houston Open tournament where she's participating. And yeah, look forward to seeing her bowl more and more. I
Quick
like the
single
running between the
here.
wickets, though. That's not a, the intent is there.
Well, we talked about that yesterday, and I think it's fair to say that the running between the wickets yesterday was not quite as sharp as you'd like for it to be. But you use the word intent. Intent for me is 75% of running between the wickets. So you don't want to be suicidal, but you at least want to look for areas to pick up singles in the way that they just did. And going back to Sahana, 5 overs bowled before this match, 22 runs conceded, 2 wickets, and those 2 wickets came in the same match. Her best bowling is 2 for 14. An economy rate, to me, is the best aspect of her bowling, 4.4.
Yes.
So anytime you bowl as a leg spinner and you concede fewer than 5 runs and over, that to me is the mark of a great bowler.
I totally agree with you, Brian, and that's what I said. As you know, right now we don't have the USA Cricket governing body, but once it comes back and we go back to the women's intrazonals and the pathway, I did work as a volunteer coordinator for this region, and so take a lot of pride here. We have wonderful talent in the Texas area, and Sahana definitely is going to be a part of that region as she lives in Dallas, along with the Houston girls and Austin girls and San Antonio girls. The more and more girls come forward, we can have even regular domestic local games in the leagues, and they can play against each other. So wonderful to see all this talent. Keep going, Sahana. Proud of you. And who do we have now coming in? Is it Danya again?
Danya has 1 over left, and she'll bowl it here. 3 overs, 1 for 12. I think she's been a much better bowler than even those figures suggest. She's been very threatening. She's very difficult to get away.
Absolutely. Danya coming from the state of... ooh.
Looking to pull this one away. I think that's
Wow.
bouncing over the top. So
Wow,
generating
Danya.
a decent amount of bounce. Umpire Cameron Best thinking that this is bouncing over the top, and I think that's a fair decision. She has
Yes.
a wry smile on her face, so I think she realizes that that also would have bounced over the top. Starting out with a dot, though, so the last 5 balls of her spell coming up. So you're a good
What are you
person.
thinking about the fielding skill sets of MSCA Hurricanes? How have they been doing?
Well, I mean, I think Tia Chowdhury is really a horrible fielder. I absolutely think that I'm not even sure why she's on the field.
Now you're making me laugh.
Oh, this is going to be another wicket. Looks to pull it around the leg side. I see the leg bail having been dislodged. Don't know if it's a hit wicket or bowled, but either way, she has been dismissed. Arya Priyanshi has been dismissed. Let's check to see exactly what the mode of dismissal was. But either way, a wicket to another one to Danya Mikulineni. Let's see what happens here. Yep, bowled. Actually bowled behind her back. That is brilliant bowling from Danya Mikulineni. Not sure exactly what Arya Priyanshi is complaining about. The stump or the bail is on the ground. It's pretty terminal when that happens. And so yet another one.
While we are in the break, I think we need to go back to the fielding discussion we were having, Brian. And if you can clear it up on this global world telecast of what you just said there.
For those who are not aware, Tia Chowdhury, whose praises I sang earlier in this match, opened the bowling 2 overs bowled. Overs 2 and 4. Over 2 only went for 3 runs. Over 4 went for 1 run, and that 1 run was a wide. Brilliant bowler. Excellent in the field. Leading catcher in terms of catches taken. In addition to all of that, happens to be the daughter of the young lady seated to my immediate right. So
Oh, I love the young lady part of it. I love that. On the Mother's Day when you say
on
young
the Mother's
lady.
Day, by the way, I never did say it. Happy Mother's Day to you, Mitali, as well, to all the other mothers here and the ones listening to us on the feed.
Yeah, thank you. And I would like to say that to all the mothers of these wonderful players, all the mothers in the audience listening to us, and all the mothers all over the world. A very happy Mother's Day. Definitely in the United States, we celebrated today, this Sunday. And I know in UK it's celebrated on another day. But doesn't matter. The mothers need to be definitely celebrated every day. These
Tell you what, that is a great looking shot over the top of cover for 6. I'll tell you what, where did that come from? The first ball that she faces, and it goes over the top of cover for a 6. That is brilliant.
Is that Sidhya Arakapudi?
That is Sidhya Arakapudi. That is a lovely, lovely shot. Most instances, a shot over extra cover for 6 is a thing of beauty. The fact that that's the first ball that she's faced tells you something about her talent.
Absolutely. That's what I was raving about her yesterday too. And I think she had a brilliant innings yesterday also for her team, and she is a recipient of the impact player of the match for the yesterday's game. And let's see what Sidhya can do today to help her team.
Mentioned that Shubhi Agrawal came in as the leading scorer in the side. Well, Sidhya Kapudi is actually the second leading scorer in the side. Came in with an aggregate score of 50, 7 fours, 1 6, high score of 30. But the most impressive thing about her by far is her strike rate. Her strike rate is 147. The next highest strike rate on the team is 95. So she is absolutely brilliant. And that's off the outside edge. Might just get one here because she appears
to be struggling,
Celia, to be limping. And I'm not sure if she's carrying an injury. I would imagine that that's what happened.
Yes.
And you're nodding your head.
So yesterday in the game, she did pull something. So I can see that she is struggling. I think the team needs some runs, and that's why the team has sent her. And she has been the brave warrior who's come in here so she's, I think, thinking that, hey, I don't want to run between wickets. I'll just hit 6 and 4s and just stand on the striker's end.
That is the old phrase, beware the wounded batsman, or at least in modern days or modern times we'll say, beware the wounded batter. Because if you can't hit 4s and 6s, then your only choice is to hit big. And I think you've seen, just based on the evidence from that first ball that she's faced, that she's more than capable of doing that. So going back now to Sahana Sampath Kumar. By the way, we didn't acknowledge it. 50 came up in that last over. 50 came up courtesy of that 6 over extra cover. Lovely, lovely shot that was. So Sahana, 1 over in the books, conceded 4 runs. And now bowling to Sidhya Arakapudi. Look for that area over cover again. Played in that same direction toward cover, but on the ground this time. And pay attention because I mentioned that area over extra cover where she hit that 6. Well, Sahana is a leg spinner, so turns the ball away from the righties. So that type of turn would actually incentivize Sidhya being able to play that lofted shot over extra cover. So she'll have to be very careful, Sahana, with the length that she bowls. If it's too full, then essentially you can go in that same direction for more runs.
Who do we have on strike right now? Was it Maya Kumar
Maya
who came
Kumar
in?
is on strike, yes.
Okay. So Sidhya Arakapudi coming from Austin, Texas. So again, we're going to be proud of her achievements. We're proud of all the girls, definitely. A little soft corner coming from the state of Texas. And that was almost... Oof, that was close, isn't it?
Well, Interesting to see where this one misses. I believe that
The
was a
umpires called
bye.
it by. Yeah.
Certainly a bye. Looks like it passed to the inside between the batter and the stumps. So let's see exactly
I was
what this passed. We'll take a look at that when we get the replay, but certainly an additional run. But to me, extra cover is wide open. And so you have to be careful with your length here. If you go too full, that's actually much better. Getting her to play off the back foot, I think, is a better option. Very, very strong, as evidenced by that shot that went over extra cover for 6. So
I
just
mean,
a bit
MSC
of a
Hurricanes'
lull.
goal would definitely be to keep Sidhya off strike, right?
I don't know necessarily that I'd want to keep her off strike. I'd want her to do something that she's not comfortable with. She's a little bit injured, so I don't know that you don't bowl a quicker bowler at her and put her on the back foot. You bowl in such a way that she can get on the front foot and drive over extra cover. She's shown the ability to do that. I'd want to at least make her uncomfortable. And it sounds very sort of it doesn't sound very sportsmanlike, but if you have a batter out there who's struggling, then you make them do something that they'd be uncomfortable with. And to me, that would mean bringing a quicker bowler in and hopefully putting her on the back foot. End of the over. Score after 14 is 58 for 3.
Very well said, Brian. But let's see what the strategies are coming in from the skipper and the coach of MSC Hurricanes. I don't see that the ball has been given yet to any pace bowler. Let's see who has the ball. Oh, maybe you're right. They heard you, Brian.
Well,
I can see the girl counting her. Yes, Rhea Kamli. So we have a lot of Rheas nowadays in cricket. The only Rhea I used to know was Rhea Natkani and Rhea Vallela. These are the two ones I knew, and now we have Rhea Kamli again from the city of Sugarland, which is a suburb of Houston, Texas, and a very good upcoming prospect, very young player who just started her cricket, but has been playing in the youth program, a student of Coach Sushil Natkani, and definitely part of the MSCA Hurricanes. And that's why when the draft happened and she was picked by her own coach, that made a lot of sense. And she has been proving that, you know, coach, you made the right decision by hiring me on the team. So good prospect, Rhea Kamli. Now getting used to the turf wickets, because as you know, when they play in the youth cricket, they really don't get these beautiful grounds to play. They're playing on the concrete. And the more she plays here, she's going to get better every day.
That is wonderful, and you can do worse than have somebody like a Sushil Nadkarni to be your mentor and your coach. Surya Kambli, a single off the second ball of the over, so 59 runs on the board. Played back to the bowler herself. My goodness, that easily could have been a return catch. And technically a drop, but it's never easy taking return catches, especially as a fast bowler with your momentum taking you in the direction that the ball is coming from. That can be very tricky. But I think she'll tell you, Rhea Kambli, that she could very much have taken that. Played away into the leg side. It's going to be a single. So a couple of singles here after the initial dot ball. Don't know if we had the chance to go back to look at that drop catch. Technically a drop catch. Not easy, but technically I think she'll tell you that she very well could have taken
She
that.
needed some height from Rhea Natkani to add to Rhea Kamli. And maybe the two of them together would have made that catch.
So 3 straight singles now.
And the bad fielder Tia Chowdhury, as
Here we see on that cotton bowled back to her. Yeah, got
Ooh.
both hands to it. So if you get both hands to it, yes, it's coming very quickly. You're in your follow through, but you really would probably think that you should have taken that. Played away square. Bit of a fumble on the out or in the outfield, but no, as they say, no harm, no foul. 5 straight singles to close out over number 15. 3/4 of the way through the innings. The score is 63 for 3.
I hope they're practicing their throws from the boundaries and trying to hit the stumps. I just saw that happening, from the player you said who's not a good fielder. And
Must be parenting. I'm thinking it's parenting. A few highlights of what we've had so far.
right.
This great straightforward catch. That is a return catch that was taken. Then a couple of shots down the leg side. That one was a thing of beauty. Daniel Mikelineni with a beautiful delivery there, turning in off the pitch. And then this one, another one that turns in and clips the top of leg. I will tell you, first of all, that Daniel is an excellent bowler. That 6 over the top of extra cover was an excellent one. But speaking of Dania, not only is she an excellent bowler, but I think that you will find that her father, Sudhir, will be very happy with what he's seen from his young player. Oh, my goodness. Struck down the ground, and a catch is taken. And look who took that catch. It is that horrible fielder who I was just talking about. Boy, why is she even on the field taking catches like that? Tia Chowdhury with yet another catch. Wicket number 4. Struck down the ground, tossed up, and look at this. Well judged. Oh, that is exactly how you do it. When I say well judged, I mean she judged it to perfection, took it at about chest height. That's what you want to see in the outfield. And Tia Chowdhury, and with all the kidding that I'm doing about Tia Chowdhury, she's now leading her team in terms of catches taken with 3. And so that is excellent. Absolutely brilliant stuff from the young all-rounder. And the score is 63 for 4.
While we are taking that, when the new batter comes in and sets in, I definitely, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank all the supporters, and I want to mention a few sponsors who have helped out to get this tournament going. First ones are all the franchise owners. I would like to thank them. That's Southern Strikers, MSCA Hurricanes, Blazers, Dream Cricket Dragons, DC Titans, and Texas Legends. Cannot thank y'all enough to put in your franchise in this tournament and getting a platform for these girls to play. Really, really, very, very. I'm sorry, I just got distracted with the whole misfield out there. No backup. So that's not how you play cricket. But, we just got a wicket. They got to keep it tight and not give away such freebies. What do you think, Brian?
Well, there's never a time to relax. And it can sometimes be, I think, human nature to sort of let your guard down after you've taken the wicket. But the idea is to continue pushing on and getting the best out of the situation. In the situation where you've had a team down, just lost a wicket, Ananya Kulkarni is at the crease. Maya Kumar has been there for a while but hasn't done much. And so this is the time to try to drive home the advantage.
Ananya Kulkarni, who's the skipper of Blazers. This is the first time I'm seeing this player. She's an adult player. And good to see that it's not only the 14, 15-year-olds. We have the adult cricketers also in this, and that's why it's called the Women's Houston Open, where we have players from all over the country coming to showcase their talents. So coming back to my, thank you to the supporters. Other than the franchise owners, we have Object Win, a Houston-based IT staffing company, and thanks to them for their support. Thanks to Wood engineering firm for their support. Thanks to the Gangu family to give me the support for the hydration. Thanks to Era, who are my partner in the apparels. Don't those colors and those uniforms look good, Brian? And the girls are all saying they're very good to wear, very comfortable, and they're happy with all the uniforms. Each and every girl has been given a helmet cover and a clad. So they're very happy and they say it's very comfortable. So thank you, Ira. And then we have Kaziranga. The balls are all hand stitched, Brian. They've been made hand stitched in by Kaziranga, and I haven't heard any complaints about the balls. I'm very, very happy that it was quite an investment. They're not cheap. Everyone, I don't know, around the world, if they realize these balls are not cheap at all. And I'm very, very glad that we're providing them the best tools. Only the girls need to do is get their skill sets in and showcase their talent. Rest is all provided to them.
Great delivery here to start over number 6. Make that over number 17. Ria Kamble continuing. Looking to sweep this a one around the leg side. Can't get anything on it. Batter, by the way. We talked about the fact that Ananya, Captain Kulkarni, is at the wicket. She's faced 4. Make that she's scored 4 from 6 balls faced. Maya Kumar 4 from 11. I'm glad that you just took the time to go through all of the persons and entities that have contributed to this, because sometimes people lose sight of the fact that a tournament of this magnitude does not happen by accident. It is the efforts of a number of different people, the resources that have been made available, the skill sets that have been put to the task, all in the service of putting together a tournament like this. And it is so important that you have the support that you do from all the people that you do.
Absolutely. I think I have missed my title sponsor, which is Bengal Trading Company LLC. Thanks to Mr. Chowdhury, Mr. Bhanja Chowdhury and family for sponsoring us as the title sponsors. And we have a very beautiful website this time. With our 5th edition, we have started our beautiful website. For that, we have partners in Spikers from San Diego. So thank you for your support. And I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I have missed the names, please forgive me. But all the guys are working in the background. I cannot thank my committee. One, of course, is Mangesh Chowdhury from the Cricket Prairie View Complex. We have Subroto Bhanja Chowdhury, who is my better half, and I couldn't have done this without him. But he's also my volunteer, who has been the ground manager on this ground. We have Yamini Zoshi from GPC Controls. She's also my sponsor. Thank you, Yamini Zoshi, for supporting me.
We'll get back to that in a second. End of the over, 74 for 4.
And
so right on cue, there you see a list of the sponsors. I cut you off here, Natali. Finish what you were saying.
no worries, no worries. That helped me. I'm so glad, and thank you to our definitely beautiful broadcasters here. What a broadcast we are having here from everywhere. We're getting all
World
the
class.
kudos.
World class.
World class. Thank you, Hassan and team. Cannot say any words less than appreciation. Thanks to Yuva. Yuva is a Bollywood dancing company, and Yuva means youth.
Okay.
All right, so it's a beautiful dancing company. Thank you, Modi and family, for sponsoring. Thank you to the Mittal family from Pittsburgh supporting me. And thank you for many of the players who couldn't make it. They agreed that they would go ahead and contribute their little commitment fee to get the best fielder awards. So I'm not going to name all of them. You all know who you are. So thank you so much for your support. I definitely want to thank Ramji for the photography and my
Great
3.
delivery. Hate to cut you off. Wicket number 5, Sahana takes another one. It is full and straight and knocks back the middle stump. Look at this, tossed up, and really hitting middle and leg, and that is the end of the day for yet another batter. That is the end for Maya Kumar. Spent some time in the middle, but unfortunately for her, loses her wicket here. 3 from 11, and the score is 76 for 5.
That was a beautiful ball, Sahana, as we were talking about her. So she's already got 2 wickets in this game too, right? Great job and good teamwork, MSCA out there, keeping the Blazers to whatever little score they can. But as we discussed yesterday, you remember when we were talking in the morning about the Dream Cricket Dragons, and they barely could, they didn't cross the 100 line, but they came back and defended it. So the game's not done till it is done, isn't it?
By no means is it done. I think choosing to bat first, you'd have wanted something around 100. I've said that a couple of times already. But ultimately, your bowlers will want to think, okay, I know what score I need to defend. Let me go out there and defend it. So that would be the mentality going back into the second half of the match. Not there yet. Sahana still with the ball in hand, looking to see whether or not she can sort of make some progress here. It's going to be Radha Sriram, the new batter.
Radha Sriram, good prospect from Seattle, Washington State. When we had the Texas Skywalker had won the championship in the year 2024, she was part of the Texas Skywalkers team. I've seen her around, and Radha definitely a good prospect here, and let's see if she can help out Blazers with a few runs here, along with her skipper Ananya Kulkarni. Sahana Sampat Kumar coming in for her next ball. Well done.
Well, you have a couple of overs left after this one. So in all, 13 balls remaining. Make that 14 balls remaining. Can you find your way to get a run of ball the rest of the way? Great delivery here. Won't get anything off that ball.
Good work by the wicketkeeper there, Aparna Gurumurthy, a USA player who recently visited Rwanda, Africa. And I am very proud of her because she was away from the United States for a while, but she did not break her commitment. She came and joined us here and helping out her team with her beautiful wicket-keeping skills, as well as supporting the junior players and guiding them. So thank you, Aparna, and congratulations for being a part of the first USA's ICC trophy, the Challenge Trophy from Rwanda, Africa.
The last 2 overs coming up. 77 on the board. It is going to be Deepanjali Pakala.
Deepu. Everybody calls her lovingly Deepu, which is, she's come from Atlanta. And I am going to thank especially this particular player and her family because she was a last-minute draft. We had a beautiful player in Nidhi Chuka from the DC area, but she got injured and she was brought in. So, and it's not easy to book tickets 2 days before the tournament. So thank you to the family for supporting Deepu and getting Deepu here to play.
So starts out with a little 2 straight going down the leg side. And they get an additional run. So 2 wides to start over number 19. Still 12 legal deliveries to go in the innings. Ananya Kulkarni 10 from 11. Looks to whip this around the leg side. That's going to get close to the boundary. It's slowing down, but just gets over the rope. Boy, the ball kept a fielder interested the entire way of the chase. It is Rhea Cambly who was chasing after that one, and it kept her interested all the way. But then, and by the way, look at the camera work here. This is really excellent stuff. And it goes away for 4.
Yep, and this is where they're going to learn more and more about the fielding part of it. It is not to chase the ball. It is to basically get close to the ball and make a diving effort to save it for the team. You can get these kind of grounds, right? These are the grounds where you can easily dive and not get hurt. And that is the level, that is the class of these grounds which have been provided to them, that where they can safely do a dive, obviously in the right way with the right technique, and save these boundaries for the team. So they all need to learn that they can't run behind the ball. They need to ensure that the ball is not running away from them.
That's the first ball that she's bowled in this over that's been on a good line. Everything else was very straight. 2 down the leg side for wides, and then the 4 was a little too straight, put away down the leg side. But this one is outside the line of off stump. That's where you want to be. That's an important point that you just raised. A lot of areas in this country where you play cricket, you don't have ground. In fact, that's in most areas. I'll get back to that point in a second, because that's another ball that is on the right line, and this time it knocks the stumps back. So wicket number 6 is what you have here. The captain has been dismissed. 14 from 14. Deepanjali Pakala has her first.
Good job, Deepu, coming back. And that is why I keep saying that, say you get hit for a 6, right? The bowler gets hit for a 6. They cannot mentally go and become sad about it, or like, oh my God, right? They need to come back. Next ball, take a wicket. And that's your experience, right? And that's your intent. Here, Deepanjali started with a couple of wides, got a 4 hit, but there you go. She comes back with 2 beautiful balls, and there you go. You got the wicket for your team. So well done, Deepu.
In baseball, they say, and this is specifically in relation to closers, that you need to have a very short memory. And even if you get, in baseball terms, you get hit for 2, I almost said 2 sixes, 2 home runs, the very next one can be where you get the batters out. And so the idea is to forget about what happened. There's no controlling anything that has already happened. Then you just focus on what the next thing is that you can do. Single here. Good looking piece of work. Maybe a little bit late on the response, but the ball was hit far enough away from the fielder in the mid-wicket area that you could get that second run. So the batters are going to be Radha, Sriram, and Ankita Swaminath.
Yep. Both from the Seattle area, playing for the Blazers team, which actually is from the Bay Area. And that's a good ball again from Deepu. I think she finally is getting her rhythm. How many overs do we have to go?
Well, after that dot ball, there's only 8 balls remaining. So
Okay.
you don't have a whole lot of time left.
But
After
this
that dot ball, 7 balls remaining.
7 balls remaining to the innings, and this is where the beauty of franchise cricket and draft cricket happens. Is the players are not playing.
Another one, full and straight, leg stump knocked back, and it is going to be wicket number 7. Started with a very loose over, but Deepanjali Pakala has come back with 2 wickets. Excellent stuff. Watch this, full and straight, good night leg stump.
Excellent job, Deepu. Gets another wicket for her team, contributing to the opportunity she has been given. And this is what this tournament is for. I know our parents spend a lot of money to travel and get their players here, but this is the opportunity you're looking for. Whenever your team, whenever your skipper, whenever your coach is giving you the opportunity, grab it with both hands, with both toes, with both legs, everything, and show what you have. This is where it's getting noticed, what you can do, what kind of temperament do you have. After 2 wide balls, getting hit for a 4, here she comes back and takes 2 beautiful wickets. So great job, Deepu. And just like Deepu, I'm pretty sure all the girls out here are making their effort and getting this experience, going to remember this as for a memory, and keep on playing better and better. So we get Kamakshi. Oh, what can I say about Kamakshi? Kamakshi Senthil Pakkam, coming from the city of Dallas, Texas. A coach herself. She's the senior most player in this tournament, and I am so proud of her. The first day she got a fifer with 3 wickets, fifer with a hat trick. And in the second game on the first day, she gets another fifer. Off spin, and just loves to play the game, loves to coach the younger players, and here she comes bowling the last over. let's see if Kamakshi, or we call her KP with love, KP can get some wickets here and keep climbing the rankings.
Oh, there is no climbing the rankings. She's far and away the best of all the bowlers in the tournament, not just on this team. Leading the league, or leading the tournament in terms of wickets taken. Came in with 12 wickets, including that 5 that you mentioned. One maiden, best bowling of 5 for 15, and a hat trick. What happened here? Oh my goodness, this is going to be yet another wicket. That is a run out. Unfortunate that the batter, trying to make her ground at the striker's end, dropped her bat. How often do you see that happen? Looking to slide the bat in, unfortunately dropping the bat. Take a look at this. Not out on the LBW shout, but here, looking to slide the bat in, and unfortunately, see what happens here. And she would have been out by some distance anyway, but then she drops the bat as well. So that just compounds the error.
That
is yet another wicket.
That was Sahana Sampath Kumar quickly throwing it to the wicketkeeper Aparna Gurumurthy and getting another wicket for their team. So KP, even if she didn't add it to her own column of wickets, she did add a lot of value to the team's wickets column. Good job out there. Teamwork, MSCA Hurricanes. Blazers are now dropping, but that's okay. It's the last over, so they just need to get as many runs as they can in this last over. How many balls to go, Brian?
86 for 8, 2 balls remaining in the innings. So essentially, you'd think that they'd be running on anything here. Dot balls, you're not running on that. It's now going to be the last ball of the innings. And essentially, from here, you'd think anything goes. So look for the non-striker here to start being aggressive toward getting toward the other end. And it does not make a difference. A couple of dots close things out. Get through the last over. Only 1 run scored. That is excellent bowling. Not surprising that Kamakshi Senthil did exactly what you wanted from her in that instance. End of the innings, 86 for 8. The scorecard, I think, is going to tell the story that this is a really brilliant bowling effort. As again, you restrict a team that decided to bat first to only 86 runs. Here's your full scorecard. Arya Priyanshi, I thought, was good at the top of the order. 24 from 39, a few single-digit scores, and then a bit of a fight back in the middle order. Sidya Rekapudi, 12 from 11. Ananya Kulkarni, 14 from 14. And then once again, the singles the rest of the way. 15 extras gets you to 86 for 8. And then for the bowlers, every single one of them, I think, did what they needed to do. Look on the right side of that screen. Not a single, in fact, just one Dipanjali Pakala with a strike with an economy rate of over 6. Everyone else limiting the damage. And Pokala herself, most of that came from the loose balls at the top of the over. Came back and finished very strong. A few highlights the rest of the way. Look at this. This one for me was a really good delivery. Tossed up and played right back to the bowler herself. Straightforward catch taken to dismiss Shruti Agrawal. And then the rest of the way, I think you just saw some good bowling, consistent lines, consistent lengths. And this, in fact, you've seen the same highlight there a couple of times. But take my word for it, the rest of them have been really very good. I know we have been just a few technical issues there, but for the most part, and maybe that one highlight was so good we needed to see it 3 times. Swept away down the leg side that time. Oh, beautiful delivery here. And that turn from Dipanjali, from Danya Mikalineni did really very well. That shot over extra cover was a really good one that went for 6, but for the most part, only a couple of highlights that the batting team would have been proud of. Tia Chowdhury with a straightforward catch there, very well judged to perfection, in fact. And then the bowlers continued doing what they did, 2 wickets each for the support bowlers at the back end of the innings, and then trying to get some acceleration going towards the back end, just couldn't manufacture that that acceleration that they needed. This one with the run out opportunity, you'll see that here she drops the bat. Don't ever want to do that. And a good collection by the keeper herself. So that puts you in a really good spot. Only 86 runs. I say only 86 runs, but the bowlers know what they have to defend now. So we'll take a short break from here. I'll put you on the spot, Mitali. Who's winning this?
I think with the batting lineup, MSC Hurricanes have it. They do have a little edge over the Blazers. But you know, never say never. Anything can happen in the game of cricket. I would like to thank Mr. Brian Walters for all his support. I would like to thank the broadcast company again for all their support. And my core team, that is Prakash Narayan, my other volunteer, which is Mr. Yaram Sethi from Dallas. So thank you, all of you. Bye.
Welcome back. Field number one, Prairie View Cricket Complex. Through the innings break, now the MSCA Hurricanes are going to look to see whether or not they can overhaul a target of 87. You heard what Mitali Chowdhury said, that based on the strength of the batting unit of the MSCA Hurricanes, you would think that they would be able to overhaul this target. Ankita Swaminath with the new ball in hand. And she will be delivering to the opening pair of Tia Chowdhury, who we talked about earlier, and Lakita Thanetti. It's actually going to be Lakita Thanetti who takes first strike. Needing to score at the rate of 4.35 and over, a little bit more than 4 runs and over to win this match. Again, with the strength of the batting unit of the MSCA Hurricanes, you would not think that that would be a very stiff ask. But I know if you've been following along this week, or at least this weekend, you've heard me say that on at least 2 other occasions, and both occasions the chasing side lost. So anything can happen, and the oldest, or one of the oldest rules in cricket is runs on the board means something. Yes, as a batting unit, you know you can probably score 130 if you need to, but you still have to go get that 87 runs. So let's see whether or not the Hurricanes can be as advertised. Immediately squeezed through the offside for 4. 1 delivery, 1 boundary. That easy. Full and straight, and in fact it's Tia Chowdhury who's taken first strike. In fact, I don't know that that's accurate. No, that scorecard is wrong. It's Lakita Thanetti who's taken first strike and squeezed the first ball through the offside for 4. So you have a very interesting field. Deep third is in position and deep mid-wicket is in position. So you can't afford to be wide and straight. Or wide and full, I should say. Immediately getting a second run here. Signal there by umpire Cameron Best says that it's a leg by. I don't think you really care very much how you get those runs. If you're the MSCA Hurricanes, the idea is just to get over the line. Now, talked about what is at stake. Excuse me, I said that earlier. In the context of the 2 teams at the bottom ending up in the 5th place game later on this afternoon, the winner of this game will likely, depending on the results of the other games this morning, have maybe a 50-50 chance of being in that category where you move up to play in the 4th place game, or the 3rd place game, I should say. The loser of this game, if it is in fact the Blazers will have gone through the entire tournament without having tasted victory, and they will not want to have done that. So I think you'll see more than anything else they'll want to play for pride. So I'm going down the leg side, and they'll want to fix those loose deliveries. If you're looking for the opportunity to defend a relatively below par score, the last thing that you'll want to do is spray one down the leg side and bowl any extras. Leg by, yes, that's an extra, but the extras that you want to stay away from are wides and no balls, and buys for that matter. Solidly in defense here, plays it to mid-on, and they take a single to boot. So this is good cricket. 2 balls remaining here in over number 1. They've already had 8 runs on the board, and this is more along the lines of what you want to see. A positive attitude, and more than anything else, allowing yourself to push toward, from your perspective, what should be a pretty straightforward victory. Played away through the offside, a couple more runs here at least. In fact, no, just 1. They put a sweeper out in the deep in the covers, and that protects that boundary. Joe only getting 1 run here. But again, you've not only gotten to the point where you've conceded a few runs in this over, you've already had a couple of extras, and you don't want to put yourself in a position of doing that. 9 runs from the over already. 78 needed from 115. So you're only needing to score at the rate just over 4 runs and over, 4.07. You've already started out in the first 5 balls with 9 runs, so that certainly puts you in a good spot. Umpire Cam Best in the middle of your screen there, signaling to his partner. 1 ball remaining here in over number 1. So Lakita Tanetti and Tia Chowdhury are your opening pair. Good delivery to close out. Need a whole lot more of those. End of over number 1, 9 without loss. Make that 9 without loss after 1 over. And it is going to be Sayeda Zera to take up the attack for the Blazers. Right arm over the wicket. Bowling to Tia Chowdhury, who is 2 from 2. Her partner at the non-striker's end, Lakita Tanetti, is 5 from 4. And once again, your target of 87 coming into the start of this innings just means you have another 78 to go. And when you're defending against a below par score, your wides are going to absolutely hurt you. 2 wides now, 3 extras, the other extra being a leg bye. Leg bye doesn't necessarily hurt you as much, but with each wide, that's an extra ball and an extra run. Oh, in the air, boy, that lands short of the fielder sprinting in from backward point. Tia Chowdhury might consider herself lucky there. That was in the air for a very long time, but landing safely, at least from her perspective, out of reach of any of the fielders. So not the most convincing of shots that time, but as they say, you live to fight another day. Tia Chowdhury, 3 from 3. Lakita Tanetti, 5 from 4. Stop me if you've heard this before. Wides will hurt. Extra ball, extra run. 75 needed from 113, and the required rate officially is now under 4. 3.98. Very close to the territory where you have to bowl out the opposition in order to win. This is not going to be a wide, but it's still too straight. Glanced away down the leg side for a couple. Good looking shot. And it's all coming very easily here for the MSCA Hurricanes. 6 without loss is what the score was for the Blazers after their first over. Hurricanes, by comparison, were 9 without loss. It's going to be interesting to continue playing that comparison game, seeing where each team was at the respective stages at the end of each over. Wide number 4, number 3 in this over. Still have 3, in fact, yep, still 4 balls remaining here. Not even halfway through the over yet. Already 6 runs on the board, so your task becomes monumentally more challenging when you consider or continue to have extras. And that is yet another one. So hasn't bowled a whole lot. Saida Zera. She, in fact, does not appear on the list of the top 7 bowlers in the team. And so she would have had probably very little time in the middle. That's a good delivery. Wrapped in front. Umpire McVin Frederick says that's missing. Let's see what that looks like from our perspective. But importantly, it's a dot ball. So that breaks the string of wides. Already 4 wides in this over so far. Bottom right of your screen, you see the graphic that represents all the wides that you've had. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in all. And of course, an over is 6 legal deliveries. So you'll continue bowling until you get to the point where there's not any wides. In other words, where 6 deliveries would not have been adjudged as wide or as a no ball. Very full, played to the offside. Run out opportunity, but she actually chooses not to take a shot at the stumps. That's the captain, Ananya Kulkarni, who thought about shying at the stumps at the non-striker's end, but eventually decided against it. At this stage, only 70 runs left to defend, 110 balls remaining. I don't know that I just don't take a shot at the stumps anyway, because you need wickets any way, shape, or form at this stage. In the air, that's going to be very much down the leg side, 2 straight, and put away for 4 more. That line, just maybe struggling a little bit finding the right line here. Saida Zera, just getting that 1-2 straight. You see on that replay, that's drifting down the leg side from over the wicket. Really, whether from over or around the wicket, you want that ball to be on off stump or maybe going on a 4th stump line. This is drifting in toward the pads, and that will get you in trouble every single time. Again down the leg side, again a wide. Still have 1 legal delivery remaining. You have had essentially 2 overs in 1 here, because this is delivery number 11 coming up of the over. And once again, for those who are not familiar with the rules, an over is 6 legal deliveries. And if you keep bowling wides, you will bowl 100 wides and it will still be the same over. Paddle away down the leg side. That should be 4 more. And I'll tell you what, had that not been a 4, it would have been adjudged another wide. She gets out of the over eventually, Saida Zera, but she concedes 17 runs. There you see again, that one is just a little too straight. 17 runs come from over number 2. Well and truly off to a fast start here, the Hurricanes. Score after 2 is 26 without loss. Back to Ankita Swaminath to see if she can assist in repairing some of the damage that was done from the last over. Bang on target here, defended into the leg side, no run. So Ankita Swaminath hasn't appeared on the list of bowlers for the, at least the list of top 7 bowlers for the Blazers. First over went for 8. And I say went for 8. She conceded 8 runs. There was a leg by, so the leg by, she's not punished for having conceded a leg by. So she conceded 8 runs, and 9 runs were scored in that over. Starts out with a dot here. Nikita Tanetti, 8 from 9. T. Chowdhury, who looked really good in that last over, 11 from 5. Couple of boundaries down the leg side. From this standpoint, your options for getting the victory appear to be broadening if you're the Hurricanes, because you can play conventionally and get there, or you can hit big if you need to. If you get a ball that is in the slot, too wide, too short, too straight, those are all scoring options. Let's see exactly how this develops the rest of the way. A couple of good, in fact 3 good balls to start this over. And from the standpoint that the first over or the second over went for 17 runs, this is a good way of being able to repair some of that damage. Driven into the covers, no run. So 4 straight dots. This is excellent stuff from Ankita Swaminath. And from here, you're looking to close this over out without any damage. A maiden would be wonderful, but I think you'll take something where you've scored fewer than 5 or so runs in this over. Driven into the offside, that spoils the maiden. Good sliding stop in the covers, but it's a single, so Tia Chowdhury will face the last ball of over number 3. This is a really good over in progress, very much so. It'll be interesting to see if Captain Ananya Kulkarni goes back to Saeed Azera for another over, because again, that first over conceding all of 17 runs, and you only have 87 runs to play with, 60 remaining, so you want to limit that damage. Opening the face, Tia Chowdhury, running it away down the hill. This is going to get close to the boundary. Good work to protect in that area. Deep third, Maya Kumar is the fielder down there. But 2 more to Tia Chowdhury. Good over. 3 runs coming from it. End of over number 3. The score is 29 without loss. So 29 without loss. It is good to see that Saeed Azera has gotten another over. If you have a bowler who has a poor over, and I think by most standards, I think you'll say that an over that conceded 17 runs and had 5 wides was a poor over. But as a captain, sometimes the most powerful gesture that you can have is by giving the ball back to that same bowler and saying, here, I know you're a better bowler than what you just showed me. Give me a good over. Put 6 balls in the right areas. That's a good one. So she's had 1 wide in this over out of the 3 balls that she's bowled, but 1 wide obviously offline, but the other 2 have been bang on target. So I'd be looking for her, Saeed Azera, to give me 4 more deliveries right in the area where she gave me those 2 in this over so far. Cut away into the offside. Should just be a single. Oh, my goodness. That kind of hit Tia Chowdhury. I tell you what, if that had not hit Tia Chowdhury, that might have been able to get a couple of overthrows. But opening partnership continuing to develop here. 31 is what it's worth. 3 deliveries into over number 4. Tia Chowdhury, 13 from 6. Lakita Tanetti, 10 from 15. It's going to be in the air just over the top of mid-on and goes away for 4. So, Tia Chowdhury's heart would have been in her mouth just for a split second. From my perspective, almost looked like it was going straight to mid-off, but it actually clears her, and mid-on I should say, and it clears that fielder at mid-on. That is Maya Kumar. It goes away to the boundary for another 4. So 4 runs make that 4 fours struck in the inning so far out of 35 runs. 8 extras and 4 fours. So off to a fast start by many measurements. This is defended into the offside for no run, but you're only now needing another 52. 52 needed from the next 97 balls. So huge gap between runs needed and balls left to be faced. And all of that with 10 wickets in hand. So all of this does what you need from a standpoint of being able to build toward a victory. Looks to pull again, straight to mid-wicket. No run opportunity there. So 6 runs coming from the over. I will say that this is a much, much better over from Saida Zera, wanting to make sure that she helps to build pressure. Not much pressure built, but it's certainly better than the first over that she bowled. She'll be proud of that one. End of over number 4. The score is 35 without loss. Third consecutive over being bowled here by Ankita Swaminath to start her spell. Lovely looking shot, whipped around the corner, won't get to the boundary, but they'll get an easy 2. Lakita Tanetti and Tia Chowdhury are putting on a batting clinic. The ball is too straight, working off the hips for a couple. The ball is too full, drive it down the ground. The ball is too wide, play the cover drive or the lofted extra cover drive, depending on the exact line or the length of the ball. But the scoring opportunities are presenting themselves. They're scoring at the rate of almost 9 and over. And again, if the ball is there to be defended, then you defend it. That's what you just saw from Lakita Tanetti. 12 from 17. So her strike rate is 71. Tia Chowdhury with a strike rate much better than that, 17 from 9, so her strike rate is 189. And after that double to start this over, the number of runs needed is 50. So you're essentially putting yourself in a really good spot here. Good couple of deliveries after that initial ball that was too straight from Ankita Swaminath. Now, the idea would be to continue attempting to build pressure by having a few dot balls. You've had 2 in a row here. And with 2 dot balls, that certainly puts you in a better position. You've limited the damage, but now you need to continue building on that. Played into the offside. Oh, they took off very late. And I'll tell you what, that is a good piece of running. Tia Chowdhury with that dive may have saved herself. Felt like a risky run all along. And take a look at this, played into the offside, but look how quickly Tia Chowdhury takes off at the non-striker's end, and this dive is what saves her. Reach that bat well out in front of you and get that bat sliding across the line. That's what you need to be able to do. Haven't seen enough of that. Good aggressive running between the wickets. Now the one other thing to point out is that Lakita Tanetti started out by running straight down the middle of the pitch. She will want to not do that, and she will likely be warned by the umpire if she does that again, because you cannot run directly on the pitch that defaces the surface, especially with the spikes that you have on your shoes. And the umpires will prevent you from doing that. Look at Tia Chowdhury rock onto the back foot and help herself to 4 runs over wide long on. That is a lovely looking shot, quickly picking up the length and just going onto the back foot and easing that ball through that wide long on area for another 4. Look at this. Look how quickly she picks up the length. On the back foot is where her weight was, and dragging it over the fielder at mid-on. Running back away for 4. And that is the captain, Ananya Kulkarni, who could only watch to see that ball sail away past the ropes. Good comeback delivery, and equal to the task is Tia Chowdhury. 7 runs come from over number 5. And they're off to a really fast start here. The Hurricanes, after 5, are 42 without loss. Five overs in the books, and in 5 overs out of a possible 20, the MSCA Hurricanes are almost at the halfway stage of the chase. Chasing 87, they have 42 runs. On the board, they only have another 45 to get, and exactly 90 balls remaining. So 1 run out of every 2 balls the rest of the way wins them the match. Amruta Rava, change in bowling. This is played into the offside, no run. So now you go with spin to start the last over of the power play. Amruta Rava essentially going to be tasked with pulling things back. Second leading bowler in the side, Amruta Rava. 6 wickets taken in the tournament. Best bowling of 2 for 12. And with that 2 for 12, an economy rate of 5.07 is a good one. A strike rate, make that an average of 12.67. And a strike rate of 15. All of those tell you that she's a really, really good bowler. Good start with the ball here. 3 consecutive dots. So that calms down some of the momentum that had been developed by the MSCA Hurricanes. Struck through the offside. Maybe 1 run here. No, they come back for the second. Took off in rather belated fashion. And my goodness, I thought it cost them a wicket. But they just do get across the line. It is Lakita Tenetti herself. Take a look at this. Struck through the offside, finding that gap. That was expertly done. And took off relatively late for that second run. But this will tell you the story here. Oh, this is very close. I think with the benefit of the replay, you see that that was likely out. But umpires do not have the replay system that we do. They have one look at it in real time. Umpire Cameron Best thinking that Tenetti did get back across the line. I think the benefit of replay, the technology that we have available to us, shows that she was just short of her crease. But again, you can't expect the umpires to give those in real time. So she lives to fight another day. Look at Tenetti, 15 from 23. Tia Chowdhury, 21 from 11. This is split into the offside. No run. Really good over this from Amruta Rava. Last ball coming up here. Last ball of the power play. Let's see exactly what the comparison will be at the end of this power play. Worked into the leg side. Good stop at short mid wicket. That is just 2 runs coming from over number 6. End of 6. The score is 44 for 4. The end of the power play, the Blazers, when they batted, were 23 without loss. So you've almost doubled up the score that the Blazers have had and have lost no wickets. So really fully and truly in charge of proceedings at the moment, MSCA Hurricanes. 44 without loss. Srilaja Balanatha Giri will be your bowler to bowl over number 7. Oh, let's steal a single here. Don't know that they really should have been a single. But maybe this is a good time to take a look at some of the other action going on around in the Prairie View Cricket Complex as it relates to this tournament. As I said earlier, the top 2 teams, meaning 1 and 2 in the standings, will end up playing the final later on this afternoon, 1 o'clock local time. Top team in the division, at least for the tournament, is the Texas Legends. The Texas Legends are currently playing Texas Legends against the Southern Strikers. Texas Legends batting first scored a mammoth 183, which is just absolutely insane. We might just take a quick look and see how they got that far. Texas Legends with a truly dominant performance with the bat. That's patted away around the corner for 4. Good looking shot again from Tia Chowdhury. We'll get back to that in just a second with the Texas Legends. Tia Chowdhury now up to 26 from 13. That shot bringing up the 50. Take a look at this replay. That line is not one that will get you much benefit and easily put away for 4. Back to the Texas Legends. Lasya Bandaru, 86 from 65 with 11 fours. Arna Kalapala, 47 from 35, 4 fours and a 6, 26 extras, and a mammoth total of 183. And so the Southern Strikers in response are currently 30 for 3. So they have a whole lot of work to do to get caught up. And so if those results hold, the Texas Legends clearly would be in the final. The DC Titans came in as the second-ranked team in the division. DC are in the tournament. DC Titans currently playing against the Dream Cricket Dragons. The DC Titans, Dragons, I like to see this. They had their best day with the bat in the tournament by far. Scored 114 runs for 2. That is the best that they've done entirely for the tournament. Going back to this game for a second, that struck away through the covers for 4. And Tia Chowdhury is making run scoring look very, very easy. She's now up to 30 from 15, still striking it at a really fearsome strike rate above, in fact, exactly at 200. So I hate to keep going back and forth, but looking at the DC Titans now, 45 for 3 is what they have. 1 ball remaining in over number 8. So they need, in the next several overs, 69 runs needed from 12. They need to score at the rate of just under a run a ball. So if the DC Titans win that game, then the final this afternoon would be between the Texas Legends and the DC Titans. Then the bottom 4 teams would certainly sort out things according to how those scores play themselves out. But just a quick look at what you have the rest of the way today. It's going to be one of the 2 teams that will be playing here on this ground will be the Texas Legends. And as of right now, it appears as though it will be the DC Titans as the second. Just to look at the Southern Strikers, the Texas Legends, as of right now, batting again. And they're facing up to a team that is being dominated. That's the Southern Strikers. So if the Texas Legends win, then the Southern Strikers will be 2 wins, 3 losses, and then it won't matter what the DC Titans do, because either way, they will still be the second-ranked team. So for all intents and purposes, you can state that the final today is going to be between the Texas Legends and the DC Titans until something absolutely insane takes place. But as of right now, that's what you're looking at the rest of the way. So in any event, getting back to this game that we're covering here, 57 without loss, a couple of deliveries into over number 8. And I think you've seen really good evidence that this opening pair is truly being able to take control of the proceedings, and they've put themselves in a really good position here. And from where you stand at the moment, it's going to be very difficult to prevent them from winning this game. It's going to be something to pay attention to the rest of the way, but I don't think that there's much doubt that there's only one team that is currently in control of the proceedings. In terms of this particular game, over number 7 went with one of the better overs that you'd have seen. Over 7, single off the first ball, first 2 actually, and then T. Chowdhury became the T. Chowdhury show there for a minute. You had a 4, then a wide, then a dot, and then another 4. So T. Chowdhury doing really well there, and that's taken. Good catch, sharp catch, and that is the end of Lakita Tanetti. That was struck firmly, but right to mid-off, and she leaps and takes a really good catch. Take a look at this again. Tossed up, using the feet to come down the track, and that is a good piece of fielding, a good catch taken. A catch taken by the captain herself, Anna Nicole Carney. Well judged, and in the end, very much a straightforward catch. So that breaks the opening partnership. It was a good one. So between the two, put on 59 runs for the first wicket, and that really puts you in a good position. Yes, you wanted to break that partnership, but plenty of damage has been done, bearing in mind that the target is just 87, so just another 28 to go before you get to the winning score there. New batter coming in is going to be Kushi Kadam, joining with Tia Chowdhury. Tia Chowdhury, 30 from 16, really, really looking good with the bat. You saw her in the field, you saw her with the ball. In my mind, if she puts on, for example, something around another 20 or so runs, in fact, let's just say, assume that she gets to 50, that for me would essentially cement her place as the player of the match. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see what happens here the rest of the way. New batter is in. Kushi Kadam, right-handed batter. And full credit to Amrutha Arava. Not afraid to toss that ball up and invite the big shot. That's how she got that wicket. This next delivery. The first one bowled to Kushi Kadam, tentatively defended. 2 balls remaining here in over number 8. In fact, 1 ball remaining here in over number 8. Bright sunshine bathing the ground. Knock on wood. Wherever you are listening to me, knock on wood. But this entire week, another wicket. I'll say more about that in a second, because wicket number 2, 1 brings 2, as they say. A bit of turn, and it passes the tentative defensive shot by Kushi Kadam, and it goes by and tickles the leg stump. So 2 wickets down. Look at this, tossed up, and look at that turn. Front foot going nowhere. Ball sneaking in between bat and pad, and the end of Kushi Kadam. Unfortunately for her, she's going to be done, and that is wicket number 2. Excellent bowling from Amrutha Arava. End of over number 8. The score is 59 for 2. Let's look at this replay again. Tossed up, and there, sneaking between bat and pad. You cannot bowl a better delivery like that. And if you wanted to take a lesson about how to approach a ball like that with the ball tossed up that high, if you have the confidence, your footwork is your best ally there. Chip down the track to meet that ball when it bounces, because if you give the ball when it's tossed up that high the opportunity to bounce and turn, then you are at the mercy of what the ball does. And on that occasion, the turn was enough to turn back through the gap and touch the top of leg stump. So 2 wickets down, 2 wickets in that over. Really good stuff. Tia Chowdhury continuing though on a merry way, and this is swept away in the deep for a single. New batter in is going to be Pooja Shah, the captain. And take a look at what you're able to get done here. Pooja Shah joining with Tia Chowdhury herself. Both of these players, Tia Chowdhury and Pooja Shah, from right here in the Southeast Texas area. Pooja Shah from Sugarland, just outside of Houston. Tia Chowdhury from Katy, also just outside of Houston. Katy sitting north of Sugarland if you wanted to look at the, let's call it the geography. Both west of the city. Katy due west, Sugarland southwest, if that helps. But both from this area and both very highly regarded, of course. Oh, look at this. What is this? Another wicket goes down. The captain is dismissed. 3 wickets have fallen in the last 5 balls. Going back, a relatively tentative shot, and she loses the top of her middle stump. So let's take a look at this again. From 59 without loss to 60 for 3. That is a beautifully flighted delivery, and it finds the captain short of the skill needed to be able to negotiate that delivery properly. So unfortunately for Pooja Shah, she is dismissed, and all of a sudden what seemed like a walk in the park for the MSCA Hurricanes has now turned into a bit of a tricky situation. Aparna Gurumurthy is the new batter. Look at this ball, tossed up beautifully. If Pooja Shah looks at that replay, she will want to have gotten more in line with that ball. That front foot was actually going away, going back towards the leg side. You'd want to come over and cover the line a little bit better on that one. But all of a sudden, we have a new game, a different game. Tia Chowdhury is out there looking really good. 31 from 17. Appears to be playing on a different pitch from everybody else. Aparna Gurumurthy is at the crease now. Brand new batter. And again, the last 5 balls have seen 3 wickets fall. 60 for 3 is where you are now. 2 deliveries into over number 9. Still 27 runs adrift. I don't know that you're in trouble yet, but you certainly don't like the fact that you've lost all the wickets that you've had in the last several balls. So Aparna Gurumurthy, it is now going to be up to you to staunch the flow of blood, if you will. Tossed up, played into the offside, no run. What a good passage of play for the Blazers. Again, do not yet have a victory in this tournament. And how much would it buoy their spirits if they were able to somehow come back in and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Struck in the air, and that gets through the gap that will run away for 4. So tossed up. She's getting, or in fact, all the spinners have been getting success tossing the ball up like that. This is in the air and just to the left of the fielder and the covers, and it races across the carpet for another boundary. That is 4, number 8 for the day. A welcome 4, if you will, because that sort of eases a bit of the pressure and brings more perspective to the proceedings. You have only now 23 runs remaining to get from the next 68 balls, so it's no longer about economy rate, scoring rate. It's about runs and wickets. And this is played down the ground. Aparna Gurumurthy will get down to the other end, back to Tia Chowdhury. Tia Chowdhury with 31 against her name. 22 runs remaining. Tia Chowdhury has a very minimal chance, I would think, of getting to 50 unless it becomes a fact that she tries to farm the strike. I can't see her doing that. Down the ground, I think she'll keep doing what she's doing here. Pick up the scoring opportunities when they present themselves. She will keep the strike. That is the end of over number 9 Tia Chowdhury will remain on strike to start over number 10. End of 9, 66 for 3. Well, 66 for 3. Tia Chowdhury back on strike. She has been easily the best batter on the day. Not just for the MSCA Hurricanes, but for both teams combined. 32 from 19 are her figures. Using the feet, getting it into the deep. Oh, burst through the hands of the fielder on the boundary. That goes away for 4. That really should have been stopped. And I think the fielder herself will tell you that that needs to be stopped. Pulled away into the deep, and I think a very straightforward chance here. And maybe just looking to start gathering the ball to throw before she actually collected it. Tia Chowdhury moves up now to 36. Down the ground, it's going to land safely in front of Long On. So a bit of an acceleration, it feels, is taking place right now for Tia Chowdhury, who apparently wants to get this game over and dusted with. 16 is all you have remaining. Tia Chowdhury herself is up to 37 from 21. And if you were to ask what my opinion is of the player of the match, Tia Chowdhury, when she bowled 2 overs, none for 4, cannot do better than that without taking wickets. But that essentially puts the squeeze on the opposition, and that put them off on the back foot. Took a catch in the outfield, and now with the bat is 21 without is 37 from 21 balls faced. For me, that sounds like player of the match territory. I'm not the one who gets to adjudicate on that, but that's my humble opinion. In the air, and it is going to be landing short of the captain at mid-off. It is Ananya Kulkarni who couldn't quite get there, and they'll get a single. Parna Gurumurthy, 5 from 6 now on that replay. Boy, I tell you what, the ball actually got to the captain. I thought it was dying and not quite getting to her, but she did get hand to it. In the air again, this will also land safely. So doing it in singles, in risky types of singles, but 7 runs come from that over. End of over number 10, halfway through the chase. Don't think you'll have another 10 overs. This game will be ended one way or the other sometime in the next 3 or so overs. 14 is all they have left to get. 73 for 3 after 10. Shrilaja Balanathagiri about to bowl her 3rd over. Poked in the air back toward the bowler. Might consider herself lucky there. T. Chowdhury that did not go directly in the hands of the bowler herself. Starting over number 11 here with a dot. Using the feet, T. Chowdhury getting this one on as a low full toss, playing it down the ground. And so now a small margin of 13 runs is what separates you from victory here. So the Hurricanes stumbled horribly right after the power play where they lost 3 wickets in 5 balls. But T. Chowdhury is still there. 39 from 24. Parna Gurumurthy 6 from 5. She gets this one in the offside. Couldn't quite pierce that gap. But I tell you, things happened very quickly. Those 3 wickets that were lost very quickly would have been a source of concern. But losing wickets at 59, 59 and 60 would have been concerning, but this pair now looking to take control of the proceedings, and that is how you take control of the proceedings. Punching it through the offside, proper cricket shot for 4. Tossed up, the batters make that the bowlers, particularly the spinners, have been tossing the ball up beautifully. But this is a really good shot, played through the covers, and it races across the carpet for boundary number 10 on the day. Signal there by umpire Cameron Best. So just 9 runs needed now. Parna Gurumurthy up to 10 from 7. Karthik T. Chowdhury 39 from 24. Worked into the leg, into the offside. They'll get a single here. So now just another 8 runs required. This game will be obviously ending very early. I would think one way or the other it ends in the next couple of overs. T. Chowdhury could potentially end it with 2 more strokes. Don't think she'll be thinking that though. I think she'll just be looking to get bat to ball. Tossed up, well played, defended into the offside, no run. That is the end of the over. 6 runs coming from that over. The third bowled by Shulata Balanathagiri. 1 for 24 are her figures, so a little bit more expensive than she normally is. And Tia Chowdhury herself batting really well. 39 from 25. Parna Gurumurthy 11 from 8. The MSCA Hurricanes are 79 for 3. Seven to 9 for 3. Once again, just a small matter of 8 runs separates the MSCA Hurricanes from a very convincing victory. Convincing even though they've lost 3 wickets in 5 balls. But they've gone back to Syeda Zera. 2 overs bowled. 1 went for 17, the other went for 6. Starts out here with a wide. There's just another 7 balls remaining. I should say another 7 runs. So Syeda Zera, again, first over went for 17. Of those 17, 5 were wide. So she bowled a lot of extras in that over. Bowled much better in the second over. Starting out here with another wide. It's played into the offside, no run. Just may be that the Blazers, who will likely lose this match, are just getting some time for Syeda Zera to be in the middle and experience the game, because she has not played much. I need to go back and check all the scorecards, but she does not appear on any of the figures, at least the bowling figures. And that tells me she likely has not played very much, if at all. A couple of dot balls here after the initial wide, so she's doing well in this over. In the air, that will land safely. couple of bounces to the fielder on the boundary, and she bobbles it. Almost got over the ropes, but she does manage to keep it from trickling back on the ropes. And just 6 runs now required. Tia Chowdhury has 39. She cannot get to 50. She can get into the 40s. Into the leg side. That single gets her to 40. 40 from 26. 5 runs required for victory here for the MSCA Hurricanes. Aparna Gurumurthy on strike. 12 from 11. Stroked toward captain in the deep, and Anya Kulkarni with a good piece of fielding. So this partnership, it needed to calm the waters after the loss of the couple of wickets, 3 wickets, and they've done that and more. Just on the verge of victory here, whipped away into the deep, single here. And that single means T. Chowdhury will keep strike. End of over 12, 84 for 3, and just another 3 runs required. Three more runs is all that you need. Saida Zera, 3 overs, none for 28, but again, her first over went for 17. So she's come back beautifully. But her team needed more from the other bowlers particularly. Really, I think they also needed more runs, but that's a thing of the past. In this innings, you needed for somebody to be able to shut down the opposition. And even though you've had a few wickets fall in bunches, 3 wickets fell in 5 balls, I think the Blazers will look back at that scorecard and tell you that the 10 extras, in particular the 9 wides, that would be the reason why they were not able to build any pressure. Going back to Ankita Swaminath, opening strike bowler. This is her last over. One final roll of the dice. Starts at the dot. Tia Chowdhury. Tia Chowdhury, 41 from 29. Make that 28. Looks to force this off the back foot. See what she was trying to do. Short third is inside the circle, and she was looking to sort of open the face and run it behind third. Not able to get any bat on it. I don't know that the better option would just not be to play with a straight bat down the ground or through the covers, because just 3 runs remaining. No need to sort of get cute, if you will. Pulled away into the deep, and it's going to be saved on the boundary. Excellent effort. She has saved, at least for the moment, the game, because that brings the scores level. Tia Chowdhury up to 43 from 30. Brilliant piece of work on the boundary. Delaying the inevitable is what it seems by a number of deliveries, possibly by as much as 1 ball, because the scores are now level. Look at this work in the deep. Excellent effort. Good diving stop. But this is the very next ball. Swipe and a miss. All is not done yet. 2 balls remaining over number 13. That's a great piece of fielding on the boundary. That, to me, is commitment. Regardless of whether or not your team is about to lose, your bowlers want to see you throw yourself around in the field like that to prevent that ball from going across the rope. So again, scores a level. Next run of any flavor wins this game. Sky, did Tia Chowdhury give it away? Oh, they get a single, a dropped catch, and that means that that is the end of the game. A single that brings victory for the Hurricanes by the margin of 7 wickets. This, by all, I'm not sure why okay. The umpires are now checking, and both of them are now getting the idea that the game is in fact finished. So eventually that will be sorted out. There's umpire Cameron Best taking the bails off. Handshakes all the way around. Victory for the Hurricanes by the margin of 7 wickets. So I will tell you, it becomes a pretty straightforward victory, but they stumbled in the middle, certainly losing 5, make that 3 wickets in the 8th and 9th overs. But after that little wobble was accomplished and they experienced that wobble, Tia Chowdhury to me is the one who steadied the ship. 60 from 27, or sorry, partnership of 27 is what you had. The bowlers, I thought, did not have enough runs to work with. I like the fact that Saida Zera came back with a good couple of overs after the initial bad over, but again, just not enough around and not enough runs to get. A few highlights. Whipped away on the leg side here, and she was very heavily punishing anything that was loose, Tia Chowdhury. And for the most part, for me, as I mentioned earlier, I think that this really should have been, or was, a player of the match sort of an effort. This was a catch taken. The very next time, a couple of wickets, in fact 3 wickets taken in 5 balls. That was brilliant. And then this next one, also evidence of brilliant bowling by Shulata Balanatagiri. Look at this. In fact, that was Amrita Ruva. A really good piece of bowling there. But once again, just not enough runs to work with. This one knocking back the middle stump, tossed up, and for the most part, once again, just not enough runs to play with. Tia Chowdhury doing what she needed to do. A couple of luster blows, and then that last one there played through the offside. That was a thing of beauty. That brings victory by the margin, again, of 7 wickets. That, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the coverage of this game. 1 p.m. Central Time is when you have the final. One of those teams in the final will be the Texas Legends. Who will join them? It will probably be the DC Titans, but either way, it'll be a really good game. Join us at 1 p.m. Central. See you soon.